Hey, hey,
Cello,
cello, violin. Wait, viola. That actually sounds like
viola,
viola.
cello, viola.
Yo. The
Viola. Canned bread is very tasty. I
I
just
had
will
a.
go on record.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Joe and I had a
You've had it.
had a had a can of bread once. Wasn't it like
Mm-hmm.
olive something, or was it just regular
No,
canned? No,
it's
we
just
put.
regular like wheat bread.
Yeah, it was regular. We put olive loaf on it. I think olive. What is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Olive loaf, one of my favorite. Oh, that's like one of my favorite lunch meats.
Yeah.
So many people think it's disgusting, but it's really
It's great. It's great. I can't eat olive loaf anymore because I don't eat ham
good.
anymore. Because I turned Jewish. No, that's not why. It's because I'm allergic to it. But
You're allergic to ham?
yeah,
Like pork products in general,
pork
or like
products in
just the
general.
stuff they put in ham?
No, pork products in general, like bacon. Uh,
Bacon too? Oh, I'm
yeah.
so
Guess
sorry.
what? Even worse.
Man,
Even
whenever I go to
worse.
a restaurant with you, I'm forcing you to order bacon so I
So
can
you can
eat it
have
for
it. All right, that's fine.
you.
Even worse than that, I have to give up something that's way better than bacon. Kielbasa.
Ooh,
Kielbasa's really
kielbasa's
good.
good. Mm.
Yeah, but actually, I can have like two little tiny logs of kielbasa, um,
Mhm.
and but then I can't have any more, so
Yeah,
I get away with a little bit, but
yeah.
anyhow, yep, no ham products for me. But anyhow,
Well, that's okay. We still love
oh,
you. You don't have to eat the pig.
that's thank you. Well, pig is gross anyways. I mean, they eat poop.
No, it's not. It's fantastic. I don't care what the pig eats. I'll eat the pig.
Okay, I kind of care what the pig eats. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of care a little bit about what the pig eats. If they've eaten poop, I don't think I want that.
Well,
I
hey.
mean, you are what you eat.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
And I am peanut butter.
I'm Jesus. No.
Well, then I
So,
would be too, I
yeah,
suppose.
there we
Like,
go. All right. What is kielbasa? Kielbasa is it's spelt really weird. Joe, can you spell it?
kielbasa, sausage, keel,
K.
Kei or Kielbasa. It's the I or the E comes first. I don't know which.
Uh-huh. I don't know
If
which.
you follow the rules that you hear in English, I before E,
Don't
except after C,
because it's
except for blah 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 blah
Polish.
blah. But there's like 5,000 exceptions to the rule,
It's
and they're
Polish.
like, "Oh, this is just an exception." Yeah, it's true. It is Polish.
So I
So
wouldn't follow the English. Do you eat Jesus? Yep. Sorry about that. I ate Jesus.
yeah,
Multiple times, multiple accounts.
that's hey, that's
Hmm.
that's how it works when you're a Catholic,
That's right.
right? You eat Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's that Kielbasa. That looks right to me.
Yeah, it's either that or
Or it's
Kei. I don't
Eil.
know.
It could be Kielbasa. That also looks right. I don't know what it is. Anyways, what is it? It is. It's a type of sausage. It's a type of
Hmm.
sausage, and it's from Poland, and it is very good. I'm sure they probably have it in Russia too, but um, you'll in Yansei, you'll have some. We'll have kielbasa sometime. Um, it's yummy. My mom likes to make it on a lot of our celebrations, like Christmas and Easter and all those kinds of things. So I'm sure you'll have it someday. But
Hmm.
anyhow, welcome to the Worry Wednesday. Finally, the show where we talk about the issues and problems of life and whatever is on your mind, whatever you're going through. In life, we're faced with tons and tons of problems day to day. And some of them are repetitive, repeating problems that are what's another word for repetitive? Redundant. And we're just trying to work through them. And sometimes they're new things that we never expected. And we find it amazing that as we work through them, we come to learn about ourselves, about the people around us, about the world we live in, and we can better adjust ourselves to living a better life in it. Um, but not only that, that we can make what seems to be bad things into perhaps something with with great brilliance, with like a sense of holiness or just a real goodness. And it takes struggle, it takes pain, it takes effort, and we're here to be with you on that journey. We're here to talk with you about those different experiences, you know, and not as a psychologist or psychiatrist or anything like that, as we aren't professionals in those realms, but we can be a friend. We've lived lives, we've experienced things, we've tried to look out for wisdom where wisdom is. We do our own studying that we can to try to better give you guys our best. And yeah, you know, life gets you. Life is out for you, you know, and we're here to be on your side and help you through it. So if you want to submit a topic to us, anything you want us to cover, anything you want us to cover, yep, that too. Go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit a topic. Just click that button and you'll be right on your way. Make sure you say you're a human, or else your topic will not be sent to us, because that's to try to avoid bots. But anyhow, because bots are always truthful.
Stop the bot.
They say that they're a bot. No, that's not true.
Yes, we always try to stop the bots, but you can't stop the bot.
Can't stop the bot. Well, sing away, Joe.
Say what, right?
Sing it.
Sing it?
Yeah.
You can't stop the bot, can't stop the bot, you can't stop the bot, can't stop the bot.
You can't stop the bot.
I digging on, no, can't stop the bot. Yeah.
There you go. Good. Nice. Well, that's it for the Don't Worry Wednesday show. All right. How you guys doing? It's great to see you all. It's great to be with you. You know, this is my favorite part of the week, to be here with you guys. You guys are influencers, and you might not see yourself as such, but you guys influence each other in the chat. You guys influence each other in the world. You know, anything that we bring to Don't Worry Wednesday, I mean, you're coming to the show, you're probably coming for a reason. It's probably been helpful for you, for one reason or another. Whether it's something we've said or something someone in the chat has said. Maybe it's just the feeling that you get while being around us, that good vibe of, hey, there's some good people in the world. And you know what? That carries with you in that sense. You go out into the world, and that shapes the people around you as well. So I think that you guys are influencers as well. And so we invite you to be as such, to be helpful people, and to not just communicate in the chat with us and each other, but to go out into the world and do that as well. And also, if you don't mind, if you're here and you come here like every week and you're like, hey, this is a good show, and this applies to you guys that are lurking too, why don't you invite someone? I mean, if you think that it's a good show and you think it's helpful for you, maybe it's helpful for someone else. Maybe you ought to get your friends on this.
Do not invite anybody.
Oh, okay. Or listen to Joe. Anyways, it's great to see you guys.
I'm totally kidding. I'm getting into this whole reverse psychology thing, right? Like, we're talking about making some stickers for ASD for our musical group, right?
Yeah.
And so we're making stickers, and we're putting a QR code on there and everything, and we're gonna put on the stickers, do not scan this.
Do not. Oh, that's clever. Clever. Yeah, that hits most people.
I know some people are. There's a handful of people that are just like, okay, I won't.
Yep, that's me.
The people that are like,
most people
don't tell me I can't do that. Don't tell me not to do that. I'm gonna do it then.
Yeah.
You know, like
most people are just gonna be like, what is it though? Why is it telling me not to? What is it though? And it's gonna linger in their minds and spin around and just be like, okay, I gotta scan it. I like that. That's smart. It's a Rickroll? No win.
It's not gonna be a Rickroll, I promise.
Not unless ASD covers whatever the name of that song is. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run. Yeah.
If you guys cover it, then it can be a Rickroll.
We could. It could.
You're here to fuel
but right,
your
it's just gonna go to our Spotify page, I think, just to our Spotify. You know, not to any particular song, but to our account. So, at least that's the plan as of right now.
Yeah, as of right now. Yeah, Ash,
Yeah,
thank
the
you for doing
plan
that. You're
could change.
awesome. You're so awesome. Thank you for inviting people. Um, hey, J-Ho, what's up? Long time no see. I hope you're doing awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Awesome. Well, let's get started with the show. Hey.
Right, jump right in.
Yeah, let's jump right
Jump
in.
right in, man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna quickly. Oh, you know what? Did you check for any new topics? Okay, we don't have any. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We had one. We had one from my Anglios that came in like about an hour ago.
Oh, nice.
That's urgent.
Yeah.
But they want to also be present.
My Anglios, are you here? Are you meow meow little? Can you get my Anglios over here?
Yeah,
I don't know if Meowlido's here either.
I thought I saw Meow in the chat.
Yeah,
He
Meowlido
was
is in the chat right when we started. So
earlier. Yeah.
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 Well, we'll see.
Okay, eating dinner and he wants to wait.
Oh, okay.
Right on.
Cool. Thank you so much. What we'll do then instead is we'll do someone else's topic. Yep, we'll do someone else's topic. That's when you lick the top of something, like a muffin. You're like, ooh. Yeah, it's just like frosting. It's just frosting. Right? Well, no, muffins don't have frosting. That's cupcakes.
You could lick the top of a pig.
You don't know where that's been. Not only do they eat poop, they also roll around in it.
They sure do. I dare you. Well, actually, I don't dare you. I dare you not to.
I dare you not to lick the top of a pig. Boom. Done. I'm owning it today. All right. Well, I guess what we'll do is we'll find a different topic. Let's see. April 5th. Ash. Ash is here. Ash. Yo. Ash. First of all, we love you. Thank you for submitting a topic. On April 5th, would you like us to do it? It says, my mutual crush. I thought we did one like that, but maybe it's a update. My mutual crush.
I don't think, I'm pretty sure we did not do this one yet.
We did not do this one. We did another one with a similar concept or title.
Ash says, yes, please.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, please. Awesome. Then let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the topic. I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys so you can read along if you care to. Uh-oh. You know what? I think I'm having the same problem, maybe, that Joe had last week.
Same problem I had? Yeah.
So give me a moment.
Right, in that whole time when you set up the show, like that's
it was immediate. It only took me like
it's so easy to just skip over the topic screen when you're setting up all the screens, and it's just you're just like, oh yeah, it's just the topic screen, whatever. But then like if you don't check it, like it almost inevitably always will, like something will be wrong with it, and you gotta refix it.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, fixed. So here it is.
Nice.
Up on the screen for you guys. Thank you. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna read it aloud. It's from Ash. It's titled "My Mutual Crush," and it reads as follows. All right. Hello. I've submitted a topic before that I was suspecting I'm a system / have DID. I'm not diagnosed yet, but I'm pretty sure we have it. In fact, as of writing this, I'm not the usual Ash you know. Smiley face. But, sorry, my name is Alistar. You don't have to call me that. We're okay with Ash. But I don't really have much of a topic. Just a happy little rant today. There's this guy I like, one of our exes. This last month, talking to him has made me so happy. We have a bit going on that we just flirt with each other. Inevitably, in the process of all of this, I've fallen in love with him. He is so sweet, caring, and accepting. Lately, I've been experiencing a lot of stress because I was afraid I'd accidentally out myself and he'd figure out I like him. But I got the idea to anonymously tell him I like him through a different number. But in the end, I ended up outing myself anyway and just signing my name. And he likes me back. Okay, but that's not how you say that. He sent back. He sent this long and really sweet message, and I was so happy I started crying. We agreed that neither of us want a relationship right now, but I'm still so happy he likes me. It doesn't matter that we aren't going to get together. We both have things to work on, but he likes me. I think that's all I have for now. I'm just really happy. Love you all. Ash/Alistair. Awesome. Yeah. And are you sure we haven't done this topic? And the only reason I ask probably is because I think I'm the one that read through the topic and put the spacing in there for the show. So we didn't do this. Just double clarifying.
I'm quite sure we did not do this.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, yeah, this is a good topic. Thank you so much for submitting it. Thanks for making us a part of your life, you know. You said, so on that note, we are kind of together now. And you haven't that you haven't that I'm aware. Okay, good. That is awesome. Well, congratulations, Ash. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
You know, it's good that you're with someone that is sweet, caring, and accepting. I think those are great and important qualities for someone. And as well, it's totally okay to be in that realm of agreeing to not be in a relationship. There's definitely an importance in that at times. But the fact that you guys are together now is also a very good thing. And I hope that it works out awesomely for both of you. So this is a relationship topic. So, you know, Joe's got his toes tapping. He's getting ready to run at you. So I'm gonna...
boy. I'll be nice. Like I'll try to be nice anyway.
All right. I'm gonna give it over. I'm gonna get out of the way. And I just, again, thank you so much for sharing with us, Ash. Thanks for sharing your personal life with us. I think that it's very beautiful. And we're rooting for you out there. So thank you, Ash. We love you. And yeah, take it away, Joe.
Take it away on a relationship topic. Well, you know me. Ash, I love you. And I am very happy for you. I'm happy that you found somebody that you can have this in love feeling with, and you know and they feel it back, and you know, like, I mean, that this is how relationships start, or sometimes this is how relationships kind of get moving, right? And it's natural and it's fine. And you know, just because, you know, I personally have an aversion to relationships at this point in my life, you know, that's okay. It gives me a little bit of a unique perspective in that, you know, I might just cut through the gobbledygook and shoot straight at somebody about a relationship topic, and I apologize. I'm so sorry. But if I remember correctly, I don't know the status of your crush or the person that you're with now. I think I remember that you had recently gotten out of a relationship. And something tells me that they had as well, but I don't know for sure. And so the only one thing that I would just want to throw out there to maybe possibly be mindful of is like the rebound fuzzies that we get, right? Because that happens. Our hearts are complicated places, right? Ryan and I were just talking about this before the show, that our hearts, a little bit late. Yep, our hearts are unique. Our hearts are complicated. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that happens, and you know, like, we get these things in our mind. So just understand, you know, it's normal and it's natural to get these feelings and to fall for people, and to, you know, and I don't mean fall for them like they're trying to get one over on you, but you know, we fall in love, and then and it's awesome when that love is reciprocated, and it's not when it's not, right? When we fall in love with someone and it's not reciprocated, that is that's very difficult when we when somebody falls in love with us and we don't reciprocate that back. It's painful for everybody as well, right? Like it's it's a unique place. So it's mutual. That's great. That's awesome. So here's kind of how I remember this going for me in my personal experience whenever I've fallen in love, and I've fallen in and out of love a bunch of times. I fell in and out of love with my spouse that I had for, we were married for 15 years, and we fell in love and out of love, a bunch of times, and like that's kind of how relationships go, right? And so like the key to having that relationship that lasts is not the in love feeling, but it's the commitment that you make to that person, and you decide, I'm going to love this person. You decide, hey, and it's good to make that decision when you're thinking clearly, because when you fall in love, you're not. Sorry.
Fair enough.
A lot of people will say, oh man, when I'm in love, it's like, that's like it's the most clear I'm thinking. No, it's not. That's when you're most led by your emotions, and when you're most led by impulse, and you're most led by non-rational thinking, because here's it's pretty wild. So, and again, Ash, I'm not here to dog your situation at all. I'm not here to downplay your situation at all. I honor that and I respect that, and it's beautiful, right? But I just also want to just I'll be the voice of logic and reason in this moment, and I'll just say, when we get out of a relationship, we feel an emptiness. And sometimes that emptiness has been going on for a while because the relationship generally didn't just end with us having these good in love feelings for a while. Usually the relationship has taken a turn for a worse, and it's going down, 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 down. It finally ends. And so you've had this emptiness feeling for the last however long in the relationship. And then after the relationship ends, there might be a bit of relief mixed with the emptiness and the loneliness and everything like that, right? And we clamor sometimes to fill that void. I know I've done it many times. And you always hear about, like you might hear about it on a Hallmark movie or something, like rebound stuff or whatever, rebound relationships and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that they can't last. Many times they do. But it's also something to be mindful of and just say, okay, I have these great feelings. They're wonderful. Welcome the feelings. You don't have to squash the feelings. You don't have to try and downplay the feelings. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. Right? But if this relationship is probably like any other relationship in the sense that that feeling is going to fade over time, and that's okay. That's normal. Life comes in, life kicks you in the teeth a couple times, maybe you handle some struggles together, maybe whatever. Maybe you get mad at each other, you have a fight, whatever. There could be all kinds of stuff that happens, and then, that in love feeling that you've had begins to fade. And at that point, what becomes important is the decision you made to love that person. Now, personally, I have serious commitment issues. Serious commitment issues. And they're the opposite of what people talk about when they talk about a guy having commitment issues.
Yeah,
like most of the time we talk about a guy having commitment issues, it's like he just won't commit. He just won't commit. He won't buy me the engagement ring. He won't blah blah blah. Like he just needs to commit already, all this kind of stuff. Like I have the opposite issue. Like I commit, I jump in full force and I'm there. And it's just like I make the decision and I'm committed to it. And I do this not just with relationships and other people. I do this with, like my career life. I do this in, whatever it is I might be doing. I'm a parent. I'm committed to being the best parent possible. I'm committed to helping my sons discover who they are. And I had that conversation with my oldest son a couple months ago where it's like, I might not be a typical dad, because a lot of dads, and especially a lot of dads at the school my sons go to, it's a private Christian school, and there are a lot of people who have a plan for their kids, right? And it's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to become this. And it's planned out for them. Or they're going to be like, well, we're going to have you take the assessment test that tells us what you like. We don't necessarily want to know what you like by asking you what it is you want to do or like to do. We're going to test you and see what it is so we can tell you what to like. And those assessment tests always bothered me. If you don't... But at any rate, I had this conversation with my son, and I'm like, I don't have a plan for how you're going to turn out. I don't have in my mind an idea of who you're going to be. I'm interested in being here to discover it with you. Like, I want to help discover it. I want to help figure it out. I want to do everything I can to try and help you discover that who you are. Right? So I don't know how I got to that. I was talking about commitment issues, right? But that's part of me being being committed to being the best father that I can be. And in a relationship like this, and I know it's early, you're not even probably thinking about commitment. And I can't blame you for that. And it's probably not the right time, since it is such a young relationship, right? You guys have been together before, it sounds like, so that's awesome. And now you're back together now. That's awesome too. But I just wanted to throw in a little bit of reason and just be like, hey, that in-love feeling you have right now, enjoy it. Embrace it. Let it fill you. Let it wash over you. It's wonderful. It's lovely. Right? You get all these dopamine and adrenaline, and you get all kinds of great chemicals flowing through you, and it's great. And then, but I just want to let you know, it doesn't last forever, and that's okay. It's normal. But then the commitments that we make, the decisions we make while we're in that feeling, we also have to do our best to honor that after the feelings go away. And I'd like to say, hey, you know what? I'm probably wrong, and you're going to feel this way forever. But in my experience, those feelings are temporary, and then, they fade. But that doesn't mean your relationship has to end. That just means now, when you don't have the in love cloud in front of you, now you see them for who they are, and they see you for who you are. And that is a tremendous opportunity to really, really get to know them, and to really learn how to love them for real. And I'm not saying that being in love isn't for real. It is real. It feels real. It's there, right? It's definitely real. But to truly love goes beyond being in love. Does that make sense? To truly love is to be there in the sticky times, the hard times, to work through the issues, all that kind of stuff, right? And you can definitely do that. But yeah, I'm so happy that you're happy, and I hope I didn't, I the last thing I want is to make you feel bad about the situation. I hope I did not do that. That's not my intent at all. I guess all I wanted to do was just, kind of be the voice of reason in relationships, and
prepare you.
I must be improving because I'm not angry.
Nice. That's great.
Weird, right? Like every time someone breathed a thought about a relationship, I'd just be like, like super angry. but I'm not. I just wanted to let you know, hey, this is where you're at. It's a beautiful place. Go be there, be with him, be with them, like and enjoy this time that you have. Absolutely. And then also understand that when the feelings fade, it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be together anymore. Right? That's not what that means. A lot of people in America, it seems to be a big thing, where people fall in love, they get married, and then they don't have the in love fuzzy feeling anymore, and so they get divorced. And it's like that's not the reason to get divorced because that's natural and that's normal, right? It's normal for that heightened feeling of reality. It fades, but you still can love them. It's just now the love becomes more real and it becomes more deep because now you're choosing to. Love is an action and you're choosing to do this. You're not being swept away into it, right? Like, and then that it becomes it takes on a whole new level of beauty and depth. And yeah, so awesome. I'm happy for you, and I hope that it lasts for a really long time, and I hope that you guys can be together. I think that's great. So anyway, I think before I get myself in any more trouble, I'm going to stop, and I'm gonna give it over to Ryan, and he's gonna talk about how great it is.
It's so great. No, I really like what you said, Joe. I think it's important to prepare people, right, wherever you can. Love is a lot of things. Love is beautiful, right? We can see that. And I mean, love is honestly like one of the greatest things in the history of this entire thing that we call the universe. It's such a beautiful mystery of an incredible thing, and we're so grateful that we can love. And when we fall in love, it's a very unique sort of love that is emotionally intense. And there's a lot of sometimes there's a lot of anxiety there. And sometimes there's a lot of joy. Sometimes there's a lot of pain. There's all sorts of different things going on. And so I really appreciate, Joe, what you said, because when you prepare preparation, right, for the time ahead, and we have to know, like, wherever we're at now, just like Jeho said, emotions wax and wane. They come and go. They shift on us. They're like, I don't know. They're like the air around us, right? It's like a stream or a river. It's there and then it's the next one, right? Emotions change like the seasons, which is great to know, because when you recognize that love is not an emotion purely, right? Love can be expressed through an emotion way, or an emotive way, rather. And love can be experienced in an emotive way. We also have to recognize that love is more than that. And that's, so it's really great that you were talking about that, Joe. And I think that's fine and completely appropriate, and helpful. And so, Ash, we wish you the very best, and we wish both of you the very best. The relationship you're in. Joe was talking about, he didn't mean to necessarily lead into this, but Joe was talking about his kid and how he wants to watch how his kid grows up and becomes who he is. And I think that that's a great testament of love, right? Recognizing who the person we are, engaging with, right, for who they are, and discovering that. But not only that, like, supporting them in who they are and who they're becoming. Don't be trying to change the person to meet your ideal. That's never a good scenario, right? And Ash, I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
not saying that you're doing that. That's just a precaution to anybody. But instead, if you look at someone and you say, "Wow, that's a beautiful person," will you still say it's a beautiful person when they change a little bit at a time, when they develop as a human being and they find out different parts about them, and maybe they become more of a little bit more, I don't know, anything. Could be a little bit more reckless, or they could be a little more cautious about things. They could become a little bit more people oriented, or they could become a little bit more task oriented, right? They could be discovering themselves along this journey. And part of your job in a relationship is to help them discover themselves. Because you're supposed to facilitate in your relationship a place where they belong, and a place where the true them can come out and shine, right? And so it's a beautiful thing, a relationship. And you have to be willing for it to change. You have to be willing for it to change who you are, and change speeds and motions, the ups and downs. You have to be willing for all of that. And I think that someone who is willing and ready for all of that, and whatever journey that it pulls them on, that's awesome, right? And you know what? We're not all there. And I think that's important to assess, when you're dealing with someone. It's like, well, I might be there, but is this other person there? And if the answer doesn't seem to be yes, then unfortunately, it's probably better that you wait for them, or you move on. Because if they're not willing to accept that battle that lies ahead, then they're going to fall as soon as the battle starts, and that's not a pretty picture. And we've all seen that in various relationships in our lives, I'm sure. So, anyways, it's really great, and it's a very beautiful and romantic thing, and it's a very tricky thing to navigate. But also, what I was thinking about when Joe was talking about his kid was that the relationship itself is like a person. The relationship is like an entity that exists from two entities because of their relationship. It's a very strange thing. But the relationship itself is its own construct that we have to manage and we have to take care of. And so to allow that relationship to be all it can be, it's important to try to guide it and move it along in life and get it at the best, but it's also important not to to get so worked up about it that you lose yourself, or you force yourself upon it in such a way that it is unhelpful, right? So, there's so many lessons in life that we need in order to have a good relationship, and we just stumble through it, and we hope we get the best end of it most of the times. And if we stick through the struggles long enough, we find out those lessons, which is great. And sometimes it takes a few failed relationships to find those things. So Ash, you just got out of one recently, and I hope that you've taken away quite a few things from it. There's maybe things that are subconscious that you aren't recognizing yet, and that'll come to you later. And there are probably things that need to be assessed to find them, what those things are. And then there's those things that you do recognize that you learned along the way. Not just like, oh yeah, don't date this kind of people, right? But more than that, learn about yourself, and learn about what makes a good relationship a good relationship, and what makes a relationship a bad relationship, and of course, avoiding those things, and fixing those things where you see them, of course. But yeah, it's important to draw back into your old relationship that you had, Ash, and I'm sure you've done this, and pull out of it what can be helpful for where you are headed now, right? So I encourage you to do that, and I think that it's fantastic, and I am excited for you and in your new relationship, and all its shiny goodness, and I think it's lovely, and so congratulations. I would like at some point, perhaps, maybe to have a conversation about the the DID situation going on. I know that there's quite a bit of that going around in schools lately, and I'd like to perhaps, if you want to talk about it with me, I'd like to learn a little bit more about what's going on there, and also understand it better, and that'd be really cool. So Ash, if you want to hit me up sometime, I think that would be lovely. Because yeah, there's room for me to learn and explore, and for us to grow together in that, I think. So yeah. You said, I think this relationship is already a lot better. Awesome. And is going to be a lot better. My last relationship was long distance. Yeah. And we didn't really talk much. This guy is very talkative, and he lives 2 minutes away. Okay. I was like, that's the end of the sentence.
And he lives.
And he lives. Good. So your last one did not live. Do I need to call the cops? And he lives. Yeah, all right. And he lives 2 minutes away. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's so much nicer to have a relationship that's not long distance, because I mean, I've had so many long distance relationships. I know the troubles of that, and I'm currently in one, and I know the trouble of that, and it's slightly painful, and it puts you in a position of just wanting, and it's not easy. It's not easy by any means, and you got to keep those communication lines up. And so it's a task. But any relationship is a task. And so, if anyone here is in a long distance relationship, I mean, I think that's great. I give you I hope that that you pull through. It's not easy, but it's not easy being so far apart, and there's so much you're missing. When you're in the premises of another person, there's this ambience that they carry with them. There's this presence that they have that you get to encounter and experience and thrive off of and respond to and work. You're both presences are working together to create this unique dynamic, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like when I meet Joe. Joe and I, we talk mostly over Zoom calls, or not Zoom really, but like video calls. There you go. Yeah, video calls and stuff like that mostly. But every once in a while we'll get back together, and it just feels great to be next to him in his presence, because I'm like, man, I love this guy. And it's so nice to just be around him, because he carries this presence with him that is uplifting and just makes you feel good and important, and it's great. And so
I sure hope it's still that way.
It is. Despite all you've been through, and despite all the necessity for the necessary anger, right? That's kind of come out of the oppressive situation you lived in for so long. You still like, just being around you is just so uplifting, and just like, man, this guy, he loves people. It feels great to be around you. And so and it's hard to receive the fullness of that when you're not in their presence. So Ash, I totally feel you on the front of like, it's great because you live 2 minutes away. Like, yeah, man, I am jealous of that. So way to go, Ash. I wish you my sincerest hope and that your guys' relationship blossoms in such a way that you both become the greatest versions of yourself, and you create something new that is worth having in this world. And I think it is worth having, love in general. So power to you, and I wish you the best, Ash. Thank you so much. Joe, did you have anything you want to add?
I did. I saw something in the chat that I kind of have to address, and I apologize. I'm gonna have to be the voice of reason again.
Oh no. Okay. Well, we'll go to the next topic.
Sorry.
Some young gloves now.
So okay. Ash, you said in the chat, he was kind of manipulative, so I think it was pretty easy to get over him, and that was your last partner, right? So, and so it can be easy to when we're manipulated, we can, how do I put this? when we recognize the manipulation, we can easily be upset with that person. We can, not want to be around that person anymore, not want to have anything to do with that person anymore. And I don't know how deep the manipulation went with you, but I was married, like I said, I was married for 15 years. I was with this person for 20 years. And there was huge, high degrees of manipulation happening. And I had no idea the manipulation was happening. I was just in it. And it was like I was blinded to it for so long. And then I had made the commitment, right? I have commitment issues. I overcommit to I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm committed. I call you my best friend. You're my best friend. I'm committed, right? Like, hey, what? It's beyond romance, whatever. When I commit, I commit, and I was committed to her, to my ex-wife. And I was like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, we're married. That's it. It didn't matter to me how much she abused me. It didn't matter to me if we went to a wedding and a reception and, we're married and she refused to go dance with me when they called all the married couples up at the reception. And then she went and joined all the single ladies to catch the bouquet at this wedding reception. Like, we're married. We went to this thing together, and yeah, she did that. Like that, and that's just one little. That was a mild bit of the manipulative.
You know what? That makes me kind of angry because I not that I experienced that, but I experienced something so close to it. It's just like I know how that feels, and it's aggravating. So like.
Oh yeah,
it's just like childish, I guess. It just
that was.
What are you doing? Yeah. Oh,
that was
I know it's like a minor
little thing.
I know.
It was just one little tiny little bit of years of this piled on, years and years. And then as I went through things with my therapist, we started to unpack some of this stuff, and I started to notice these abusive patterns started within the first 6 months of us, hanging out and then being an item and all this kind of stuff. Like there was isolation happening. I had gotten rid of all my friends. I'd broken up the band I was in. There's all kinds of stuff, and it was all revolving around this manipulation. So here's what I was saying. I tell all this stuff to kind of shed some light on an example that when we're manipulated, when we catch wind of the manipulation, it's easy for us to dislike the person who's manipulating us and to distance ourselves from them and to put them out of our lives. And it's the right thing to do. So you've done the right thing in a manipulative situation. Here's the thing, though. What I'm learning after this many years of this deep level of manipulation, there's a lot of baggage in my heart, like clogging up my life. There's a lot of walls that I've built up. There's a lot of protections that I've built up. There's a lot of oversensitivities that I have. There's a lot of little things that just, man, if I get the happy, clappy, in love feelings anytime soon, I'm going to be really afraid for me, like personally, because I know as I dig through this stuff and as I work through the manipulation, I keep finding new things that pop up that like, oh my gosh, like, why am I acting this way? Why do I feel this way? And it's a defense mechanism that I put into place 10 years ago or 7 years ago or whatever, because of something that happened and, or some nuance. And why do I say things a certain way? And why, like when I'm offended, why do I strike out? Like, why do I lash out this certain way? Why do I respond in the defensive? This isn't even that big a deal. Why? And I have to ask myself these questions, and and so then I will journal about it, and I'll read, and I'll like think and meditate, and then I'll get with my therapist, and my therapist like is really good at cutting through all the garbage and just pointing out the issue, right? She can be pretty blunt, and it's good because she's just like, oh yeah, well, this is why, because like, remember when this happened, you told me about this that your ex did, and now you're responding like this because that triggered the response that you had based on that previous incident, right? So what you're doing is you still have the defenses up, you still have the walls up, and you're going to for a while. And so she keeps trying to get me to warm up to the idea of romance, and I'm still not having it. And I don't know if it's just that I'm afraid, or like she'll send me a video like Making Marriage Work by the Gottman Institute or whatever, right? And she'll send me this thing, and like just the title will offend me. Or like, she told me to watch this, it's 25 minutes long, and I'll watch like 25 seconds of it, and I'll be like, forget this is stupid.
This has romance in it. Turn it off. It's like, yeah, that was the title. It's the point.
And it's but the reason is because I know that as a result of manipulation, we put up walls, we put up defenses, we are wounded in certain ways, and those wounds can then be triggered and can come to the surface in ways that we don't even expect, and that we may not have an explanation for. So, Ash, I don't know how deep the level of manipulation was for you. Excuse me. I don't know you seem from the chats that you've been here on Don't Worry Wednesday, from our DMs, all this kind of stuff. You seem like such a kind and strong person. And I appreciate that greatly about you. I appreciate that so much. And so maybe you have a little bit more of a resilience than I did when it comes to being manipulated. But all I can say, speaking from my case, when I saw you talk about manipulation, I was like, okay, yes, it's easy to get over the person, and it's easy to not like the person anymore and to distance yourself from the person when you discover the manipulation. However, there are effects in our hearts and in our lives of the manipulation, because of the manipulation, that we may not even be aware of, that might all of a sudden crop up to the surface. And so if you end up in some kind of an argument or some kind of a weird situation with your boyfriend, and it doesn't seem, or your partner or whatever, and it seems like there's not much of an explanation, like, why does this make me mad? This should not make me upset. It's just this little thing. Why am I upset about this? And it could be that there was something that happened before that caused you to create a wall. There was a deep wound. You started to let your guard down a little bit, and then this person triggered that wound. And they didn't mean to do it. They're just living. They're just, being themselves. And something gets said, something gets done, and then all of a sudden we're like shell shocked, and we can't, like, this has happened to me so many times. I can't even describe, like, it's so crazy. My therapist and I dig through and dig through and dig through just all these years of stuff, and it seems like there's always a bigger layer. We handle one layer of stuff, and then we're like, okay, well, we got that figured out, and then all of a sudden, like, it's almost like, I remember telling her in one of my recent sessions, I was like, we deal with this stuff, and we talk about it, and we talk through it, and then you send me resources about it, and I'm like, and I read through these books that you recommend, and and I feel like I have everything on track, and we handle that area, and I'm like, now I think correctly about this situation. But then inevitably, it's almost like I dig 1 centimeter deeper, and then all of a sudden, all I did was like, I just like barely pricked this little membrane And then this whole thing just rips open and explodes, and there's all this garbage all over the place, right? And now I'm an emotional wreck, and I don't know what to do with myself, and it's crazy. So, all that said is not to shed light on me. All that I'm saying with this, these are all just examples of saying, be mindful that in a manipulative situation, you may have built up some walls. You may have some defense mechanisms. You may have some old hurts that are covered up that might get uncovered. And I'm so glad to hear that this new person is not manipulative. This new person is kind. This new person talks to you, listens to you, all that kind of stuff, because they can help you as you uncover these old wounds and help you heal them. And I hope that they do that. I hope that you being together with this person can mend those old wounds, can break down those old barriers that you've put up and all this stuff. I hope that, you know, you guys can work together and be together. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's beautiful, and I know it's possible. And I know that, you know, a lot of people have made that happen. But it dumbfounds me sometimes. Like, I hear about people who get divorced and then they're back in a relationship, like, you know, a week later or whatever. And I'm like, man, like, can't even imagine that. I was so messed up. Like, I know I'm not going to be good for another person for a while. I'm not a good person to be in a relationship with right now. There's a lot that needs to happen. But I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying be mindful after coming out of a situation where there was manipulation. So that's all I wanted to say. And I know I said it for a really long time, but I'll give it back to you, Ryan.
All right.
And see if you have anything to finish up with.
No, I mean, I don't think I really have much else to say other than congratulations, Ash. And I sincerely hope the best for you guys. And I hope life goes awesome for you, you know, whether this is the one or not, of course. But I sincerely hope that you guys find greatness within each other and that your relationship is a great thing for both of you. And so thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for allowing us to talk on the subject for a little bit. I mean, love is such a big topic we can talk for hours on. And there's so much more to be said, but you've heard us speak a lot, so you know a lot of how we feel about the topics and how we describe love or define it and so on. So we don't really need to go there. So we just wanted to say thank you again. And we love you, and we as well. We love you too, and we wish you the best.
And love to your mother as well. I saw in the chat.
Yes, I saw that too.
Wants you to say that she raised you right. Hey,
thanks,
hats
Mom.
off to your mother. Thank you for raising Ash right. I think that's right. Awesome. So.
That's awesome. Yeah.
What is protect?
Protect.
Oh, okay.
But it's a cute way of saying it.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, Joe protect us all and himself.
That's
Joe
right.
Protect. I was like, hey, you know what?
It's a professional technician.
You know, it could be. It's funny. Like I was, you know, I play lots of different instruments, and one of the largest aftermarket instrument case manufacturers is Protec, Protec. They make all the saxophone cases that are soft shell, you know, with the zipper. You know, that's a Protec case. Whatever.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah, nope, totally see why I did not even think about that company. Yeah, Protec means it's a cute way of saying protect.
So when you're so awesome. He attack, he protect, but most importantly, Joe says a fact. I hope I'm not hurtful when I speak, you know, cold facts like that. Especially facts. I'm always so nervous because I don't want to like pee on anybody's parade, you know?
Pee on their parade? Much less. It's not even raining on the parade. You're just like, I'm going to go ahead and take a whiz right on it.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to like I don't want to come across as somebody who's saying, yeah, all relationships are bad, because they're not. They're not. I just remember being in love, and I remember how silly I was and how emotional I was and how unlogical I was, and then, and then you get into situations, and they can be really interesting sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just want to I love you, and so I want to help you, just remember that, yes, these feelings are wonderful. It's like this high that doesn't end for a long time. Better than drugs, right? And you're just like, ooh. And then, you know, but eventually you're left with the commitment you made.
Yep.
And hey, and that's when things get deep and really beautiful, even though it can be painful, even though it can be really difficult, you know. Ah, but
Yeah.
that's when it's deep, and then it's meaningful, and it just, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, Ash, you are beautiful, and I love you.
Well said, Joe. Thank you. Perfect. So.
Oh, thanks, Manglios. I hope I do a good job.
Yeah.
I try.
That's great. Yeah, of course. Joe, you do awesome. We all love you. We all appreciate that you're here with us. So this next one is from the Manglios, and we're gonna do it. It's titled. Are you on board? I think that you are. You said that you wanted us to do it. You wanted us to wait. So are we good now? Yay, nay.
Ryan will never kick me by moving my camera above his.
Oh, you want to be above me?
No. It's
Oh.
not my spot. This is my spot.
Well, I'll only never do that out of principle of laziness.
That's great. It's funny, like we talk about, like I'm comfortable on the bottom. I'm comfortable in the supporting role. I just had this conversation with Steve. We were talking about different stuff, and Steve is the other guy that I play music with in ASD, and it's like, as a musician and in a lot of other areas of life, I fill the role of support. I'm not the lead out front person. I'm not the person in the spotlight. I'm not the person, like, the greatest compliment I get as a musician is if nobody notices that I'm there. It just all fits together so well and comes together so well that nobody notices. Then I created the proper musical foundation for whatever's happening.
Right. Yeah, I don't mind being in either role. Just whatever you give me, I'm just like, okay, here I am. So, yeah, no, that's awesome, Joe. That's awesome.
I am a bottom, confirmed.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get this next topic on the screen here for you all. This is from Manglios, and it's titled An Overdue Apology. And, and it, hold on 1 second. Let me move things around. All right. Oops. Whoopsies. Undo.
Whoopsies. Toasties.
Toasty. There we go. Fix that. All right. All right. It reads as follows. My topic.
What happened?
What happened? It's fixed. I fixed it.
Yeah. You did it.
Yeah. Sorry about all that. All right. Feel free to read along if you desire to. If you don't you dare open your eyes. You got to close them and hold your breath the whole time. All right. It reads as follows. It's a long one, so prepare to either read or hold your breath. My topic is more time sensitive than urgent, but sooner would be better. I have what I'm calling an overdue apology that I would like to do before the end of the school year. I'm not going to go into all the details, but there was this time in 8th grade when I had said some mean things to this one person, and it ended up being a bit of a drama. A bit of drama. There we go. This was the only thing I've had that I'd consider as drama. I haven't really had much interaction with them since. But through but through time and watching Don't Worry Wednesday, I grew as a person, and I think sometime toward the end of 9th grade, I realized that what I said was wrong, and I wanted to apologize. But there was never a good opportunity to do so until this school year, which is 11th grade. This person is in my history class. This person is in my history class this year, and ever since the beginning of the year, I decided I was going to apologize to them after doing this as a topic. And now it's nearing the end of the year, so I'm running out of time, and I want to do it now. Also, the person seems to be doing good now, so I'm not wanting to apologize because I'm worried it's still bothering them. I just want to make sure I read that correctly. I think my main 3 reasons for wanting to apologize are that I don't want to have any unresolved drama, especially since it would be easy enough to resolve this. What I said was wrong, and I want to make up for this wrong by apologizing to them, and I want to get rid of this awkward tension I sometimes have when I'm around them. I mean, it would be easy enough to go up and apologize to them after class, so I might as well. I have an idea of what I'm going to say, basically a somewhat short and to-the-point apology, saying I'm sorry, and how what I said was wrong, and that I've been wanting to apologize for it, but what do y'all think I should say? Oh, by the way, it's what do y'all think? Sorry, let me say that correctly. What do y'all think? What do y'all think I should say? Also, do y'all have any tips for how to have enough confidence to be able to do this, even though their friends will likely be with them? And if y'all have any other thoughts or advice on this, I'd love to hear it. I appreciate y'all covering this for me, and I'm looking forward to hearing what y'all have to say. Thanks, Yanglios.
Thank you.
My Yanglios. There we go. So.
Now you can breathe now.
You can now breathe if you've been holding your breath. Congratulations.
And open your eyes.
Dead. If you're not hearing me, you have fainted. Good night. So not that you'd be able to know, because you're currently asleep. Well,
and it's all good.
Yeah, probably should have read along. So anyways, thank you so much, my Yanglios, for this wonderful topic. I think that standing up and coming to apologizing takes courage. Apologizing always takes courage. Almost always. No matter how old you get, no matter how many times you've apologized, when it's something that you've held off on, or you did something wrong, and you're like, well, I gotta go make amends. It always takes a little bit of courage. The more you do it, the easier it gets. That's true. But it's still hard, because you still got to make that phone call or get them at a time where you can do that. Maybe it's in a public space, so you have their friends around, and you're admitting that you were wrong to not only that person, but to the people around them. And you pull them away from their activity to bring up something somber, as whatever it was in the past. So it's not easy. And, it's been so long, maybe they've forgotten about it. Since so far in the past, they've completely forgotten about it. They just don't even care. They're like, oh, that happened? Right? I just, it's whatever to me, I guess. But I think it's still important to apologize, and I think that it's really great, and says a lot about your character, wanting to do so. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you a lot. And so I want to reward you as a person by enabling you and encouraging you to take this step, because that is a step that produces great character even further. I've had to make apologies, and I'll tell you that I've never regretted a single one, and they've all led to me, being a better person and resolving things, and getting closer to that person I apologize with is very often an outcome of this. So I I applaud you and I implore you, and I think that what you're doing is great. So I'm going to get out of Joe's way, and let him encounter this problem with you, and allow him to shed wisdom upon your ears. Here you are. The Joe.
Thank you, Manglios. Thank you so much for the topic. This is a good one, and not to say that our other topics aren't good, but this, like, there's potential for some real growth here. There really is. You've got an opportunity on your hands to grow, and it's going to be uncomfortable because most of the time growth is uncomfortable. Most of the time, a lot of times apologizing is uncomfortable. If you want a good perspective on apology, you can go and listen to I'm Sorry by Static P. It's in the Criminal Idol series. And he speaks a lot of truth in those lyrics. Like, humbly does it tend to open wounds. Like right now, there's an open wound and you feel it. Now, they might not feel it anymore, like Ryan was talking about. Maybe they're over it. And I've had that happen before where I'm like, I feel like I need to apologize to this person. I need to apologize for the way I treated him like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And so finally I'll get the guts to do it. And I'll see him and I'll be like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I'm really sorry for the way I treated you. I was wrong, and I'm so sorry. And he said, water under the bridge, Joe. Like it wasn't bothering him at all. I've had that same experience multiple times where, it's been an incident that happened years prior, and I come back and it's still kind of eating me up, and so I apologize. And then they look at me like I have two heads, and they're like, I don't even remember that happening, or just like, it's not a big deal, man. It's over. I understand. It's fine, and it's awesome. Yep, exactly, Mianglios. Those are some of the lyrics, but there's a lot in the verses too that you can take from. But apologizing does help us. It's interesting because the main thought about forgiveness and repentance and stuff like that is kind of opposite. When we are wronged by someone, we don't get healed by their apology. When someone wrongs us, our healing doesn't come from them apologizing. That might be how the relationship reconciles and comes back together, and now you're friends again, right? That might be how the relationship gets repaired and healed. But when someone hurts me, my path to healing is through forgiveness. And it doesn't require an apology. I can forgive somebody without them apologizing. Sometimes it helps a lot. Sometimes, like I'm all bent out of shape and I'm really hurt and heartbroken over this thing. And then their apology makes me feel better about it. So then I can more fully forgive them. And then that is what leads to the healing on my part. But when I do something wrong to another person, I don't heal until I repent of that or apologize for that. And actually it takes place even without the apology. It takes place in my heart when I look at the thing I did, I recognize that it was wrong. I feel sorrow for the thing that I did that was wrong. I feel bad about it. I feel guilt. I feel sorrow for the way that I was. And then resolve in my heart and in my mind to not do that again to the best of my ability, right? Now, sometimes we're compelled by habit or by, whatever, sometimes we're just in the heat of the moment and we do something that hurts somebody, or circumstances are around us and we have no other choice but to do something that hurts people. Because sometimes you get in situations where it doesn't matter what you're going to do. People are going to get hurt no matter what choice you make, because the situation is just crummy. It's the way things are sometimes. And we need to recognize that. But even then, though, our pride will stop us from apologizing. Even in those situations where, where we had no good option of what to do, no matter what we were going to do was going to hurt somebody. And somebody gets hurt because that's the way, somebody was inevitably going to get hurt. In those situations, it's easy to kind of just throw it off. Well, I didn't have any other choice, man. I had to do this. Hey, whatever. I didn't have any options. And so our pride will stop us from saying something as simple as, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. I never wanted to hurt you. The situation was what it was, and I am sorry that I hurt you. And it's about having that level of compassion for that other person. Now, you have this, my young Leos. You have this in your heart already, or you wouldn't be considering trying to figure out how to apologize to them. So in your heart, you already have a repentant heart where you're saying, I did this, it was wrong, it was hurtful, I feel bad about it, I feel sorrow about this situation. And in your, maybe, hopefully you've resolved to do your best to not have that happen again, to not do that again. Those are key to repentance, right? You recognize it was wrong. You feel sorrow for it. And you resolve to the best of your ability to not do it again. Those are the requirements of repentance for that healing level of repentance. Right? And so if I were in your shoes and I was going to have to do this, right? I know that I would feel nervous. I would feel scared, maybe. I would be afraid of what they might say or how they might respond, or especially if you're talking about them having their friends around, which I would try and do this in a way that it can just be you and them. So if their friends are around, you might just say, hey, can I borrow you for a second? Can I talk to you for a second? And then see if you can, pull them off one-on-one. See if you can do that. I've done it both ways. I've apologized to people in front of other people. It seems to be less comfortable then.
For both people?
For both people, yeah. Because then, it's almost like we kind of put them on the spot in front of their friends when we do that. And that can add another wound. So one of the best things you can do for something like this is to see if you can pull them away from their friends group or whatever, and see if you can get a minute just one-on-one with them to do this. And it can be as easy as just, tapping them on the shoulder when they're there and just being like, hey man, can I talk to you for a second? Can I borrow you for a second? Whatever, And I guess, and okay, there is a scenario, and I've had this happen too, where I've done that, and it's just like, whoa, we can just talk right here. Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of my friends. And I would try one more time in that instance to just be like, well, I think it'd be better if we just talk for a second. It's only going to take a second. Can we just go talk for a second? And I give them that one more shot to do this one-on-one. But then if they refuse, at that point, I'm just like, okay, well, then I'll tell it. And I'll say it right in front of their friends. And I warned them. I gave them 2 chances to come off one-on-one with me. And now I've said it to them in front of their friends. And a few things might happen. You might get laughed at. You might get made fun of. I've experienced these. You might get punched. I've experienced that too. There's all kinds of things that can happen as a result of this, but it's no matter what happens, when you go through this experience, when you finally are able to apologize, say, I'm sorry, I feel really bad about the way I treated you. I feel really bad about what I said to you. And try to formulate your apology in a way that puts the fault on you. Like when I apologize to somebody, I will say something like, I am sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that my actions hurt you. I'm sorry for what I said. It was wrong, and I feel horrible about it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that to you. And I would not say something like, I'm sorry you got hurt by what I said. It sounds like it might be it sounds like it could be similar. But when you say, I'm sorry you got hurt, that's saying, oh, well, I'm sorry you're such an idiot for getting hurt.
Sorry you don't have enough thick skin to weather the storm that is me. You got my way, idiot.
Yeah, that's not a real apology.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prideful statement. And key to an apology is humility, not pride. This isn't about pride. This is about humbling yourself. And this is about, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I said that to you. You know, you don't even have to give reasons. You don't have to do, in fact, sometimes it's best to not explain why you did what you did or said what you said or whatever, like, because sometimes we get into that trap too, where we apologize and it's like, well, I'm sorry I said that, but I was just acting because of this and because of this and because of that and this and that and because I didn't feel like I had anything else I could do, and and we dig ourselves a deeper pit, and the apology loses its sincerity the more we explain. It might feel better to us in the moment because what we're doing is we're justifying why we did the thing we did. And so for us inside, we feel like, okay, I'm not that bad of a person because I was only acting this way because of this and this and this and this and this. And so, it becomes justified that I did that thing, even though it was wrong. The best apologies, the most healing apologies come with the least amount of explanation. Now, sometimes a little bit of explanation is required because there's misunderstanding. And so sometimes you might have to explain. But if your explanation is just to make you feel better in your heart and justify the wrong action you took, leave that out. And say, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry for what I said to you. It was wrong. I never wanted to hurt you. I don't want, I feel horrible about it. And so I'm sorry. And what happens is, after that moment, it could be super scary before you go up and do this. You might be shaking in your boots when you're doing it. You might be trembling. You might be sweating. You might, whatever, it might be super duper scary. But on the other side, regardless of the outcome, you will feel better. You will be stronger. And you'll grow. Regardless of what happens. You go up and apologize, and your friendship gets reconciled, and you guys are best buddies again. You're going to feel better, obviously, right? I mean, of course, you're going to feel better. Here's another scenario. You apologize. They laugh at you and call you an idiot. You know, it might sting to have that happen. You might be tempted to fight back with your words if that happened, to bring in the justifications, right? And to all that stuff. Still, leave that out. Let them say what they're going to say. Then you can say, okay, I understand how you feel, and I'm sorry. Just wanted to let you know. And you can walk away. But this isn't a time for you to defend your actions. This is a time for you to humble yourself and just be compassionate to their heart. Here's another scenario. They might punch you. I think that's pretty rare. I don't think it's likely that they would do that. It's more likely that they will either blow it off
unless
or
they're
they'll thank you. Yeah, that's true.
If it's a girl, it's not. The chances of them punching you are slightly higher.
Okay, we've got some stuff in the chat. That would be ideal, but I think for this situation, I don't think there would really be a good way for me to get them one-on-one. I think for this, I'm going to say it in front of their friends. I don't think I'd feel comfortable asking for a one-on-one with the awkward tension I was talking about. Okay. I'm going to start my apology with saying I'm sorry. That way they know immediately that my intention is just to apologize. And yeah, I'm just going to put the fault on me. Good. I'm going to say that what I said was wrong. It was so long ago that I think a bit more of a simple and to the point apology will be better. I agree with that. And you're confident this person will not punch you. Great. Good. But even if they did, on the other side of this scenario, you will feel better. Regardless of whether they accept your apology or not. Because you've gone through the repentant process and you've done what you can to reconcile and to atone for what you did, right? You've gone to that length. You will have a bit of a softer heart because humility softens our hearts. It gives us a little bit more compassion. And you'll grow as a person. And it's a beautiful thing. It's painful, but it's beautiful. And hopefully I haven't just talked your ear off, but I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. Ryan has experience, I'm sure, with people apologizing to him.
I apologize to you.
He doesn't really do anything wrong.
I apologized to you like a month ago or something.
Yeah. How did I respond?
You said,
I don't remember.
You tried to punch me, but we were on the video call, so it didn't work.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
yeah.
I'm just kidding. You didn't. Yeah, you were forgiving. You were understanding. But anyhow, yeah, I think, Joe, you start out with a lot of great points, and it sounds to me like, Onkleos, you've got a lot of it kind of figured out already. You kind of got, the methodology kind of figured out. You recognize that it's not about justifying yourself. It's about, I want to stray away from the word penance, reconciling the action to them and giving them the opportunity to forgive. I think that's a great thing to do, and and to amend the broken relationship, at least as a possible outcome. And it seems to me as you've got a lot of the ideas down, reading through this, and then as you're responding to what Joe was saying, it seems like you got it down. As for tips on having enough confidence, First of all, you're awesome. I think you should recognize that. A lot of times we don't have confidence because we don't know what's going to happen. The main reason we don't have confidence in things is because we don't know what the outcome will be.
It's true.
Stupid reason not to have confidence. I know it seems like, well, isn't that why we don't have confidence? And it's like, well, yeah, but it's not helpful in this case. You know, it's like, I don't have confidence that this machine is going to run because I don't know if it's going to run or not, especially based on the things that I did to it. I don't think I helped. You know, it's like, okay, I get it. You don't have confidence. I get it. All right. But your intention is to do something virtuous and good. Who cares about the outcome?
Good point.
The outcome is inherent in the activity which you are pursuing, which is to be the best version of yourself. When you attempt to be the best version of yourself, well, there you are. To require knowledge that the outcome is good is, first of all, you already have that knowledge because you're acting out the best version of yourself. You're acting out the epitome of what it means to be good and righteous, right? And I think that trumps inherently, that trumps any good outcome that it could have between your relationship, but it also inherent in the activity, you are already having an outcome that is a better you because you're living that out. And living that out creates habit. It creates foundation, right? If you never live out you trying to be a virtuous, righteous person, you never get the ability for that to come to you with ease. But if you live that out, eventually that just exudes from you naturally. This goodness that is within you, this love, this compassion, this care, this virtuousness, this righteousness, this desire to be a good person and helping people around you and developing your heart so that those things that you do with your time are meaningful to you and to other people, right? Those things, they don't come easy unless you act out those things. And so when you go to apologize, you're creating within yourself that person that you want to be. And you're acting that out, which will give you, sure, it will give you the confidence later on, but really what it's doing is it's going to make it easier for you because you've done it before. Right? And so if you're worried about the outcome, well, that outcome is guaranteed. That outcome is guaranteed. You might say, well, what if I try and I get laughed out and then I'm discouraged from saying sorry again because I was made fun of? Okay, fair question. Are you going to let that happen? Just decide right now. Is that what you're going to let happen if they make fun of you? Or are you going to decide to be the good person even if some people are going to be mean? I mean, in life, there are going to be mean people. Are you going to be the good person or not? The answer is, yeah, you're going to be a good person. Well, then you don't need that wall. Don't worry about it. You just cast it right there. Boom. It's cast down. Don't worry about it. You just cast it down with that thinking that we just did together that I responded for you and gave you the answers to because they were your answers already and I know they were. Right. See, you say, I'm going to be a good person. I know that they're your answers because I know you, at least a little bit. And you've always been awesome here. And you've shown yourself to be a good person. The very fact that you want to apologize shows that you want to be a good person. So what if they laugh at you? So what if you make an apology and they mock you? So what if that happens? So what if you make apology and now they ruin your reputation in front of the whole class? That can happen. I've been there. Done that. But guess what? Being a good person has nothing to do with how people respond to you. Being a good person is a choice that you make. And it doesn't matter if people are going to be mean. They're going to continue to be mean. But guess what? Also, the more good you do, the more good you put in the world, and the more chances there are for other people to follow. And so while you think, well, they just ruined my reputation. I'm trying to be a good person and they just ruined my reputation. If you continue to be a good person, just wait a year. See what happens. See how they come flocking back to you, wanting to be your friend. Because you stood strong. And they look at you and they go, wow, I want to be like that. I can tell you that's my personal experience. And I can tell you that's a lot of people's personal experiences. Not everybody's going to follow you. Not everybody's going to follow you just because you're a good person. But the people searching for goodness, they will. Because you will have shown yourself to be a light in the world. And they will want to be your friend. And who do you want as friends? Good people or mean people anyways? Good people. And so, I say, if you're worried, if the reason you don't have confidence is because you're worried about the outcome, there's your answer. You go be a good person. You go be the person that you want to be. I think it's important in life to define some features of like, hey, who's my hero in life? It doesn't have to be a person that's out in the world. It can be an idea. It can be an ideal. And then you can ask yourself, how do I act that out? How can I do those things? Because clearly I believe that they matter and that they're good. And then you go out into the world and you act those things out. You say, well, these are the attributes that I think make a good person. And that's what I want to be. These are the attributes that I think if anyone had, man, the world would be such a more better place to live in. Right? And then you go be that person. And don't always expect success in the first moments. It can be a successful first few moments, but what you find is you build yourself and you create within yourself someone who you're proud of. And you're not going to be proud of all a part of you because, God knows that we all make mistakes. And sometimes we make mistakes on purpose. We're not always on our A game, right? But there are going to be parts of you which you are deeply proud of. And those will give you the courage in life to do the things that are meaningful and the things worth being proud of. And so it's sort of like a circle. It begets itself, right? Good begets good, evil begets evil, Or I should say holy begets holy. But bad begets bad, right? And so you gotta jump on that bandwagon sometime. You gotta jump into that circle at some point. And I think, you're already in that circle. You're already doing great things. You're already becoming that refined, good person. And this is just another step in that battle. And to come to terms with yourself, recognizing yourself isn't always perfect, that's a huge step. And you've made that step. And then to take the next step, which is to announce it to your enemies. That's an even bigger step. And my God, is that a step which if people could make, the world would be a better place. You look at politics. If you could have any one of them announce that sort of humility, my gosh, I think that'd be stellar, right? That would be someone we could look at and go, okay, all right. Speak. What you got? Because that's someone who's real and they're chasing something better than just the prideful them, the ignorant them, the closed to self, closed to everybody else sort of person. And I don't mean to hate on politics, right? I mean, I'm not saying all people are bad just because they're politicians, but
I'll hate on politics.
There's a history there, right? And and we can see it, and that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's outside of that too, right? When a mechanic works on your car, and you go to a shop and he fixes it up and you get it and it breaks the next week for the same reason, and it's like clearly something he did, and you take it back and you're like, hey, you messed up. Well, if he says, well, no, it seems like you did something, chances are you're going to be going back to that mechanic. Right? Because he didn't own up to his mistake.
Right.
But if he says, oh, let me take a look at it. Oh, you know what? I think I did make the mistake. I am so sorry. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna fix it up, and I'm gonna do my part to make recompense for my mistake. Chances are you'll be going back to that mechanic for your whole life. Because when you see a mechanic that does that for your car, says, you know what? I did make a mistake. Let me fix it. You no longer care about, okay, is this guy even good? You just go, wow, I trust this man. Because he just did the most humble thing, which is worth my trust. Because he admitted that he made a mistake, he went and he fixed it, and I know in the future, from now on, I can trust this mechanic. Because, hey, we all make mistakes. That's the honest truth. But this guy was willing to admit it, and he did right by it. I'm taking my car to him from now on. I feel good about this person, because this person's a good person. And so, be the good mechanic. Be that person. Don't worry about people look at you like, oh, you made a mistake in your life? Ha, I guess you're not perfect. It's like, duh. That's obvious. No one is perfect here. Are you kidding me? Stop trying to put it on like a ploy like you are. Like, it just, we're not. We try, but we're not. So I think if you're looking for confidence, have confidence that doing the right thing is worth doing. Doing worthy things is worth doing. That's the bottom line. And when you approach with confidence. You approach with that kind of confidence. You approach with the confidence of what I'm doing right now is worthy of doing. It's a worthy action of me and of my time and of this person's time. It's worthy. And so you go up with confidence. You go up and you say, hey buddy, you mind if we have a little chit chat? I just wanted to talk to you about something. And if you don't want to, I can talk to you right here if you want, if that's better. And if they say, yeah, I'd rather talk right here, then you say, all right. Just want to let you know, a couple of years ago, I said this, and I realized that was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And you say it however you want to say it, with the compassion that you want to say it, in the voice that you want to say it in, and so on and so forth, right? You be compassionate. You be you be yourself. And you don't say it like I said it, right? Because that wasn't fully compassionate. Because I'm not in your scenario. So I can't be as sincere as you can be. But, I mean, that's what I got. And I hope that's helpful. Because I think the world needs people like you who are willing to go face their fears, willing to be persecuted in public for the sake of doing that which is worthy of doing, despite however people might receive it, because you know that in the end it's going to make the best world for all of us. So yeah, just know that we need people like that, and if that's you, then we need people like you, and that's what I believe in. And so that ought to be enough confidence. You got the back of Static P and Joe Anderson. Yeah. And honestly, we don't mean much. We're just people. But you're awesome. And we wish you the best. I think that this is great. This is a great topic. And this is a great activity or thing to do. A great thing to do. So that's what I got. Joe, I'm gonna give it back over to you if you've got anything you want to
add. Man, we've covered a lot of ground. And a lot of good things were said, mostly by Ryan. So you can go back and listen to his part.
Now you handled the apology part.
We've got your back.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, it's confidence is kind of like a muscle, if what we're dealing with is the confidence side of things. The more that you do things that scare you or that make you nervous, the stronger your confidence muscle gets. The more that we do things that, kind of push us to our limits, it builds us in confidence. The more times, even as simple as the more we put something down on our to-do list and we do it, that builds confidence. Sounds like this is a thing that's on your to-do list. To apologize. That's a great thing, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I imagine I get made fun of behind my back. Nobody's ever made fun of me to my face for it, but I go to confession all the time.
I don't think anyone makes fun of you for that. They just go, wow, look at that dude. He's awesome.
Yeah. I'm good at sinning, right? So, like, I go to confession. But here's the thing. Whether you see, and we have this, this sacrament of confession as Catholics, right? But you don't need to do that. You don't need to be Catholic. You don't need to, it's not necessary for you to, you don't have to have that, set up in place for you to experience the joy of repentance. In the moment, it's scary and it's horrible. Like before I go into the confessional, I'm always nervous. And I always have to remind myself, there's nothing I can say that this dude hasn't heard before, and he's going to be fine. Like it's going to be fine, right? Like but here's the thing, on the other side of it is always a feeling of freedom, a feeling of confidence, a feeling of growth, and a feeling of healing, with very rare exceptions. Have I felt this, just this tremendous release. And, the more we humble ourselves and recognize the things that we do wrong, the more that we recognize, even if we didn't play the whole part, even if we just maybe did a portion of it wrong, the more that we experience that sorrow of recognizing that we did something wrong and then resolving to not do it again. We have to go through that whole process of, okay, I'm going to resolve to not do it again. Because here's the thing. If I just apologize and recognize all the things that I do wrong, it can lead to lower confidence. Because I feel like all I ever do is stuff that's wrong. I never do anything right. I can't ever do anything right. I always do something wrong, right? But here's the thing, like, we're all human. And so we all make mistakes. We all do things incorrectly. We all hurt people. I remember having this conversation with someone really close to me that they hurt somebody's feelings, right? This person that I know hurt somebody else's feelings. They didn't do anything wrong, but the person's feelings got hurt because of this this thing that happened, because of this thing that they did. And I was like, "Well, did you apologize to her?" And she's like, "No, I didn't do anything wrong. Were you just here? I told you this is what I did. It was the right thing to do, and they still got hurt." And I'm like, "Okay, were you intending to hurt them?" "No, but I didn't do anything wrong. I don't need to apologize." And that's pride, right? That's the voice of pride. I don't need to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault they got hurt. That's their fault. They got hurt. They're too much of a wimp. Whatever, right? That's pride. All these that's the voice of pride in us. Now, we've all had these thoughts except for Ryan. You know,
let me do a spit take for you. I didn't know I was excluded from that. That's great.
We've all had these thoughts of, I didn't do anything wrong. What's their problem? I didn't do anything wrong. That's pride. Maybe we didn't do anything wrong, but we still hurt somebody's feelings. And that was the point I was trying to get across to this person, this friend of mine. It's like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong, but you still hurt their feelings. Did you mean to hurt their feelings? And they're like, no, I didn't mean to hurt their feelings. I'm like, well, then an apology ought to be the easiest thing in the world. Because all you have to say is, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to. Right? And you can be honest. It's not like you have to lie to yourself and say, when you say I didn't mean to, because you actually deep down meant to hurt them, right? Like that. No. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. That was never my intent. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. That goes a long, long way for the person that we apologize to and for us, because it silences the voice of pride within us. And that's what this is all about, really. This is an issue of pride versus humility. Now, you're already on the right track of humility. But I have to watch myself. Especially we talk about, we talk about my recent history, we talk about my marriage, my divorce, the manipulation, all that kind of stuff. Like, there are a lot of things I would be justified in thinking and in feeling and in things that I should be doing, regardless of the explosions that it causes in the lives of the people around me, regardless of, whatever, it's the right thing to do. So I need to do this because this happened to me and this is the right thing to do for me to exact revenge or to make things right or to set things right and blah, 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 blah. But what we're doing is we're leaving out the potential of how many people could get hurt even more by me doing these actions. And there's so much that has to be calculated sometimes. Sometimes problems are really complicated. And so we've got to think to ourselves, okay, if I take this action, what kind of response is that going to cause in this person? And then how are they going to treat these other people around them as a result of their response to my action, right? And so I have to think of collateral damage. I have to think all kinds of stuff, right? Like, because some of these issues are really complicated. And so I have to take all these things into account as I'm making a decision of what action to take. But always there's the voice of pride in there. Well, this is the right thing for you to do because they did this. And so you need to make that right. And so this needs to happen. And it's like, okay, well, that could happen, but then all these other people are going to get hurt. Is that right? No, it's not. So I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing this. You're on the right track. All I'm saying is the voice of pride in you will be there. And it might try to talk you out of it. It might try to talk you out of going and doing this apology. Now, here's the thing. It sounds to me like this has been nagging at you for a while. And so, like, you will get an immense relief from apologizing and doing these things that we're talking about. You're going to get a great sense of relief. And that hope for that sense of relief might be enough to silence the voice of pride. But as you're going up, that little voice going to be talking to you. Man, it happened this long ago. It's all over anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't need to apologize anymore. I don't need to. It's going to be fine. Like they don't care anymore. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. Like these things that try and stop us from doing the thing that's going to make the greatest impact, the thing that's going to help us grow the most. And here's one thing that I've learned to be almost universally true in any situation, regardless of whether it's an apology like this or anything that I might be afraid to do, because as Ryan why am I tripping over my words?
Because I always
as
do.
Ryan pointed out, what's that?
Because I always do. I'm rubbing off on you, man.
No. As Ryan so poignantly said, and now I forgot because I was trying to think of the right word.
Oh, I'm sorry, and then I interrupted. Good luck.
No, it's not. Seriously.
I'm going to take blame no matter what.
I forgive you.
Okay, thank you.
You're amazing. You're beautiful. I love you.
I said it first.
You did. You beat me to it. And now I'm mad at you.
I knew it. I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I love you. Wait, I'll wait for you to say it this time.
I love you.
I love you too.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. What was it that you were saying? I don't remember. Anyway, Ryan touched on this, but here's the thing. Anytime we're going into a situation where we're afraid or we're nervous or we feel resistance, a lot of times that very feeling is telling me that's the next thing I need to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm scared of it, the reason there's resistance, it happens so often where some days I'll put out feeler gauges for myself and I'll be like, okay, these are the things that I need to do. I've got an endless mountain of tasks, right? And it's just like a matter of picking the right ones, picking the right priorities, all this kind of stuff, right? And so I'm like looking to, okay, I got to do this. I got to read this. I got to figure this out. I got to do this and da, 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 da. And so what I'll do is I'll think about all those things. And the one that makes me the most afraid or the most disgusted or the most the one I want to do the least because I feel a resistance to it for whatever reason. As soon as I hit on that feeling, I just like a little switch goes off in my head. It's like, that's the next thing I need to do. Now, I don't always do it because, sometimes the feeling overcomes me and then I dilly-dally around doing other stuff, that might not be that next thing that I ought to be doing. But it's so crazy and interesting that the thing we're most afraid to do, the thing that makes us the most nervous, that's a really good indicator that that's the thing we ought to do first, or the thing we ought to do next, right? The next action we take is the one that scares us the most. And here's the thing, when we succeed over ourselves and we do it, the feeling is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling of victory over ourselves, the feeling of, you know what? I did that thing. I did the thing that I was scared to do. I did the thing that I was nervous about. You know, and even though I might have messed it up or whatever, I still did it. And the feeling you get from that is incredible. And so I invite you to feel that way. So if you go in and you're scared, it's the right place to be. If you're nervous, it's the right place to be. It's okay. It's normal. And the greater nervousness or fear you feel when you're faced with the task, the greater the feeling of victory on the other side. And a lot of times, the greater personal growth is available for you on the other side. So just remember that. I am not a good example because a lot of times something scares me and I run away from it. Probably, I'd say about half or maybe a little over half the time. Even though I recognize this and I try and talk myself into it and all this stuff, I still end up failing, you know, like half of the time. But on those moments when I do that thing that scares me, the other side of that is great. And we're stronger and our hearts are softer and it just, we grow so much more from doing that. So that's all I had to say. Back to you, Ryan.
Awesome. Well,
you're amazing.
Thank you so much, Joe, for concluding on that note. I don't think I have much more that I ought to add. So, yeah, thank you so much for this topic, Myanguyos, and we really appreciate that you share it with us. Is this your, no, this is your second topic, I think. Your first one was about your name. But yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I avoid the fear until I get annoyed with myself, then I fight it. Yup. Yeah, I mean, what Joe just said about, I mean, I use that principle and I feel like it's helped me so much in my life is like, I mean, I find more often than not for me, it's usually with spiritual things like praying and stuff. So it's just like, you know, like, oh, you should probably pray for that, or you should think about that, or you should go into prayer or whatever. So a lot of times for me, it's that. And it's just like, okay, fine. Yeah, all right, I will. You know, but it could be anything. It's just like, oh, I don't really want to make my bed. I should make my bed, shouldn't I? Yeah, okay, I'll make my bed. And
making your bed is easy though.
And then, well, I know that's just giving a really simple example. It is very easy.
Yeah, right.
And then you do it, and then you're just like, you know what? I feel good. I feel good about that. And so when you challenge those things that make you feel like, I don't want to do that, that's a great way to point yourself into growing, into becoming the person you want to become that does those things without worrying about them. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for this topic. Thank you for opening up to us with this topic. Thank you for being yourself and attempting to better yourself and apologize and just be a great person. So thank you so much. And we're proud of you and we appreciate you. And so, yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
And thank the rest of you for joining us here on Don't Worry Wednesday. And we hope that you enjoyed your time and you found it fruitful and useful to you and your life. You know, again, as I said at the beginning of the show, you know, we haven't been asking this question, and I feel like maybe we should have been. But you know, if you guys like the show, maybe other people would too. And it would be nice to, you know, grow this show and have a bigger impact on people's lives. If you feel like this show has had a good impact on you, then chances are it might have an impact on someone you know. And so, you know, you might get a little bit of a, like, people think you're weird if you're into this kind of stuff, but also if they get into it, maybe that'll be helpful for them. And we could all use that. So I know that I personally have grown a great deal from listening to others who speak about their lives and how they achieved or made achievements over their struggles, and just deploying whatever wisdom upon their audience. And just I've gained so much from those experiences. So not that we are the end all be all and know everything. We're just working through it with you guys. And I just think that it would be great if you wanted to open this up to more people. But no pressure. You don't have to. Just keep it in your mind. If you see someone and you're like, you know what, they could really use some Don't Worry Wednesday, why don't you just point it to them? Don't be afraid. Just be like, hey, let me write this down for you. It's called Don't Worry Wednesday. It's on YouTube. And you might get something out of it that's useful. I know I have. And that's a great invitation, you know? It's like you're just looking out for the best of someone. So yeah. Again, no we don't get paid for this. This isn't an advertisement, really. Nope. We don't make money here. This is just us trying to contribute to the advancement of society in a way. You know, make a better culture.
Well, to help people, man. We just want to help because we've been through some stuff, and it's just like, you know, I can think of times when a show like this would have really helped.
Oh yeah, for me too. A lot.
You know?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And yeah, so it's okay. And as Saule put in the chat, you know, don'tworrywednesday.com. If you have a topic, go there. You could also send friends to don'tworrywednesday.com. And as we as we get a little bit more time as a company, it'll be more populated with individual topics and videos and more stuff. It's going to be good. But we just seem to have the never-ending slice of everything to do.
Never-ending slice of everything. That's great. That sounds like a movie title, a book title, and also reality.
The never-ending slice of everything?
The never-ending slice of everything to do. Book.
Yep.
I don't know, whatever it is.
.com.
It's the .com. That's a great title. Never-ending slice.
The never-ending slice of everything to do.com. The book.
The book. .org.
.com.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for the show.
Serendipity.
Oh, serendipity. Oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for taking time to show up and experience this with us. And you said you can definitely say it's made you somewhat better. Awesome. Even if it's just a tiny bit, I think that's worth it, right? And so, thank you. I mean,
that means the world to
it. Means the world. Yeah. I mean, because we're trying to make the world a better place. And if it made it a little bit better place for you in your heart, then, I mean, that means everything to us. And that's so great. I mean, it's hard not to get emotional. So I'm going to refrain. But thank you so much. That honestly means so much. And yeah, go forward into the world and help other people. Not necessarily just be like, show them this, but just be yourself and be awesome and help the world, you know? But anyhow, yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Thanks for joining and just being in our lives. So, but yeah, that'll conclude the show. Joe, did you have anything you want to add?
I love you guys.
Awesome. I love you too. And we wish you the best of the week. And we hope to see you next Wednesday. And until then, be awesome. And don't you dare not be awesome. I will get on your case. No, I'm just kidding.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Oh, peace. Oh, that's just the joke, Cam. All right. We're just going to wait forever. Really awkwardly. Bye-bye.